Good morning. My name is Nancy Mead, and I am the president of the Friends of the Anglican Pilgrim Center in Santiago de Compostela. And I am in Santiago, so I should say buenos dias. I'm at the newly opened Anglican Center, and I'm here with my friend Dean Emeritus Robert Willis, who's across from me, and Fletcher Banner, who is at the other end of the table filming us. And we are here because we have been friends for 20 years at least, and from Robert and Fletcher's point of view, they have taught me much about pilgrimage, because not only does the Via Francigena start at Canterbury, but also many pilgrims start at Canterbury and go to Santiago. So they have welcomed thousands, probably tens of thousands of pilgrims, and they have had a great interest in our project, and were staying with us a couple of weeks ago, and were interested in the newly opened Casa Anglicana. And I said that I thought that it was time they came to visit. Also at the same time, I was opening some oysters, and I looked over to Robert and said, Robert, now that you're not the dean, I think you should join our board and come and help us with the Anglican Center and the project, and you and Fletcher have so much to teach us. Please say yes. And he said yes, and Fletcher said yes, and we agreed that we would come to Santiago at some point. About the same time, a woman named Christine Hales from Sarasota, Florida, who I had met when I did a pilgrim presentation there, offered to make an icon of St. James for us, and I got a notice that she had finished and the icon was on its way. So the three of us decided that there would be no better time than the present to come to Santiago and bring the icon, and we arranged to meet here. We've been here a couple of days, and the bishop has been here, and last night we blessed the icon, and it's over on the wall. And so that's how I met Robert, and now I'd like to let Robert tell you a little about his pilgrimage and his journeys and what he's been up to.
Well, this is the most exciting thing, because we've been talking about a pilgrimage centre for Anglican pilgrims and others who would want to come here and find a home in Santiago. And for 4 or 5 years, that's been a lovely dream. But thanks to the efforts of Nancy, particularly, that dream has become a reality, because the funds have gradually been collected by your efforts and by the generosity of so many. And here we are, sitting in this place, which has only been opened 2 or 3 months. And gradually, day by day, we're seeing it become better and better known. We're sitting in the breakfast room really the major common room of the house. And what we found, Fletcher and I came here 3-4 days ago, and we find that there are 2 areas of the day when pilgrims come in, not just pilgrims, but people who are going to stay here for the night, come in and are talking together around the table in a happy atmosphere of sharing what they've experienced. And I think we'd agree that the two areas are breakfast. Yeah. Between 8 and 10, a lovely buffet breakfast is provided, and people come down and they say, where are you from, and different languages and everything else. And at the same time, in the evening, between maybe 5 and 7, yep. In that way, the same kind of thing happens, both here and in the garden, where we'll go in a moment and just explore the house a little bit. But it has a real flavour of something starting up, which is new, and we wanted you to know about it, because anyone can come here, and it is the most lovely experience. Santiago itself, of course, is a massive experience when you come here first. I remember my first visit here, and it's quite overwhelming, the numbers of pilgrims, but the whole city feels like an emblem of pilgrimage. And pilgrimage itself is so much, and what shall we say, an image of the spiritual life and our own development through. And when people walk the road, they meet people, in not just here at the end of the road, but all the way along. Now, you've done the pilgrimage many, many times.
I have. And the first time I walked the pilgrimage was in 2000, and pilgrimage is an interesting thing. Everybody that walks the pilgrimage has a reason why they walk. Sometimes it's divorce, change of life, change of job. My case, I was turning 50, and I thought it would be good to reflect on the past, think about the present. That was my public reason. My secret reason was that I have always had panic attacks, and I thought after a half century, it was time to tackle the fears, and it was now or never. So I set off to walk the pilgrimage. I knew about 3 words of Spanish, and everybody that knew me had a great laugh. I was referred to in my family as the mouse, and I knew nothing about backpacking. I hardly knew the difference between a sleeping bag and a backpack, and I set off and started on Palm Sunday, and on my 50th birthday I arrived in Santiago de Compostela.
Wonderful.
And it changed my life, and since then I have walked many Caminos, and I walked the Via Francigena starting at your front door.
Indeed.
In fact, I spent the night before we left at your
Indeed.
Deanery, and somewhere along the way I was lucky enough to be ministered to by Bishop Carlos Lopez Lozano, who is the inspiration of this entire project. He, in 2016, said that he had a dream to open an Anglican center in Santiago to complement the Anglican centers in Jerusalem and in Rome. And he had been ministering to pilgrims, including me, along the way. It was not uncommon for him to take a pilgrim who had lost a passport, find them whatever documents they needed, and then take them back to the path and take good care of them. And I found his dream totally persuasive, and his dream became mine, and I started working on this project. And in May of this year, May 1st, we received the keys to Casa Anglicana, where we're sitting now. For the past year, we have had a ministry at Santa Susana, which is a little church in the Almeida, and Mother Anna Noon has been ministering there. And this is now a complement to her ministry there. And so it's very exciting to be here. It's very exciting that you both are here. We have had the best time talking. Robert talked about breakfast. We have a wonderful coffee machine, and we like to sneak in early and have coffee, and we get here about 7:30, and by 8 o'clock these tables are full of pilgrims from all over, and we find that at 10 o'clock we're still here. And I, for one, have drunk way too much coffee since I've been here. But behind us is this map, and we've had a great time. We ask all the pilgrims where they are from and if they would like to put a little dot on the map. So yesterday we had a woman from Argentina. This morning we had a couple from Edinburgh, Milan. No Americans today, I don't think, right?
No, but we've had some.
We've had some Americans.
Yes, yeah.
So it's fun, and people like to put their, and we love to see where they come from.
Indeed.
So,
and some have brought their dogs too, which has been
yes,
fun.
Yes.
In fact, the bishop himself, the bishop was here with his wife Anna and their 3 little Yorkshire Terriers for the last 3 days, and we already have grown to respect and love both of them. I mean, the bishop and his wife, not just the 3 little dogs who are delightful. But the icon on the wall is really a sign of this project coming to a glorious beginning. And there's going to be years of development of this, and I hope that the place will get itself known in a terrific way, and that many of you watching will have the opportunity to do what we're doing and share the life of this place, because pilgrim stories around the table are really fascinating. And you said why you came on pilgrimage, and we hear this from so many of them, and it's restorative.
Yes.
But it was interesting yesterday with the two young Danish men who were here, when we asked about what was the most happy part, the peak of their pilgrimage, and they spoke about the delights of the pilgrim way on the mountains.
They were on the Primitivo.
Indeed, so they
hilly.
climbed many mountains.
Yes.
And then we said, so what was the pitch, pits and peaks of this, the low point? And they said, well, arriving, because we felt that our adventure was over. But they were certainly not being unhappy here. They were the life and soul of breakfast at that time too, and many others have come in. I think it will be a nice thing to go around the house a little bit and see it, and that might be a better temptation for you to see what you would come to if you yourself came, not necessarily having walked all the way here, but simply being in Santiago and wanting to share this experience and coming to stay here.
And may I say something about the room that we're in?
Yeah.
This room has been given to us by the Reverend Nancy Gosling and her husband Paul Gosling in honor of their 3 grandchildren. So these tables and everything in this beautiful room is thanks to their generosity. And on the walls are a series of photographs that have been taken over the past 20 years of pilgrimage, pretty much all over Europe.
Yes, we felt it important to fill this with pictures of actually human pilgrimage along the way. And that too promotes conversation between the pilgrims as they say, oh, I remember that part, and see all of that. Let's go around the house a bit and see.
Okay.
We've come outside now on this road which leads up to the new centre, the Casa Anglicana. And people would approach it from this way, pilgrims coming?
Yes, well, some would. We are directly on the route of the Camino Inglés, which is so-called because English pilgrims would take the boat down to the coast, to A Coruña or Ferrol, and they would walk down and come directly down this road. This is the Rua da Porta da Peña, the road of the Stone Gate, and it's about, from here to the cathedral is about 200 meters. So it's a wonderful place, and I think I see a pair of pilgrims coming along behind me. So it's fun to stay here all day and watch the pilgrims walking past us and past our door and coming in and saying hello.
The Casa Anglicana is halfway along this road on the right, but beyond is the way to the cathedral itself. And this road has been travelled by so many pilgrims feeling that their journey is almost at an end, but now they'll feel also that they can turn into a place of great hospitality on the way. We're almost here at the door of the Casa Anglicana, and the notice is here on the door. It's an old-fashioned donkey door in half, and Nancy will open this now for us both.
It's what we used to call a
Dutch door. Let's go in and meet Felipe.
Hello, Felipe.
Hola.
Hello, Felipe.
Hola. How are you?
Buenos dias.
Very well.
Felipe, that's Dean Robert Willis.
Nice to meet you.
Dean Emeritus of Canterbury Cathedral in England, and my friend of many, many years. So he has come here to see Casa Anglicana and to meet you.
Yeah.
So,
welcome.
Thank you. And we'd like you to just speak a little bit about what it feels like being a receptionist. How it's a welcome.
Well, it feels great to be the first person that the people met. It's always very interesting to know people from all around the world and their stories, their context. They are so happy to arrive Santiago, and I'm very happy to give them the welcome.
That's good. So you're the messenger of welcome.
Yeah.
When they come in, and you show them around the house.
Yeah. I show him how is the breakfast, how is the room, the bathroom. I show you the garden. It is a pretty good.
And most essentially, how to get out and back in again safely.
Yeah,
With the door.
yeah.
The door.
It is a big door. Indeed.
Very special door. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's this? What are you doing?
This. Well, right now I'm preparing the information pack.
Mm-hmm.
Who has a little bit of information about us, about the Casa Anglicana, and a welcome letter that gives them the welcome.
In all these languages.
Yeah, there is printed in like 5 languages, which is the more common languages that the people come in.
Yes.
And because here it comes people from all around the world, mostly countries of Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have information here about the services at Santa Susana that people can attend. And
Yeah. We have here some information, but there are also information on the rooms,
Yes.
so they can read it with calm.
Yeah, that's good. You happy to show us around the house a bit?
Yeah, of course. Come in,
Great,
follow me.
great.
So Felipe, this is a lovely place.
Yes, indeed.
How is this
Indeed it
most
is.
used?
Well, it is used especially in the breakfast time because people love to take his coffee outside and take it here, and especially as well in the evening. It becomes a very sociable place, and people love to tell their stories about the El Camino and about their lives.
We've noticed, haven't we, in the evening that people share their stories and
Yeah.
become relaxed,
Yeah.
and sometimes there's even some music.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes
People love.
the bishop brings his dogs out here. Other people bring their dogs. It's generally quiet, although behind us we have a washer and dryer, which is
Yeah.
available for free for the pilgrims. So sometimes we have the dryer rattling around, but mostly it's very quiet, and there are lights so we can sit out here at night. And most afternoons when we're here, we test out one of Spain's cheeses and some olives, and test
Yeah.
out a different bottle of wine every night, and anybody that comes in is welcome to join us.
Yeah,
And
of course.
it's pretty much just a continuation of the breakfast hours.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
the
Yeah,
8
yeah.
to 10 breakfast hours and the afternoon wine time, and we are open to everybody, and that means that it's a mix of pilgrims and tourists, which raises an interesting question, because who knows when a tourist may become a pilgrim, or whether a pilgrim could be a tourist. But the fascinating thing is that when the people who have never been on the Camino talk to the people who have just come off of the Camino, they are very interested, and as often as not they say, well, I'm going to try that. And
Yeah,
you know, I think that the Camino is it's contagious. So
Yeah.
But the most important thing is that this house is open to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if people book in, no one's going to say, you know, have you done the whole Camino?
Yeah.
Or which church you belong to, because so many won't have any constant
Yeah.
affiliation.
Especially here.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of conversations between Anglican people and other people telling their stories, the backgrounds, and it's a very special moment.
We've
Yeah.
certainly found that in breakfast,
Yeah,
the way we've
yeah.
been questioned as well as questioning others. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the interest in going to the services at the cathedral, and of course the interest in seeing the Butafamero swing, and the difference between that and the services at Casa Anglicana, which are geared for non-Roman Catholics. And there's a lot of sharing that goes on here.
Very definitely, yeah,
in
yeah.
learning, sharing,
And mutual respect.
yeah, mutual
Most
respect.
important, because everyone is on a journey.
Yeah.
And it's not just a physical journey, it can be a mental or spiritual
Yeah.
journey. And people do little parts of the Camino and just get that atmosphere.
And as far as sharing goes, one of the problems, shall we say, of pilgrims sometimes is blisters. And when I was here in May, we had a pilgrim who had serious blisters, and part of our vision and mission is for hospitality and healing, and we were very pleased to be able to fix her blisters. So a lot goes on out here. Usually it's social, but sometimes it's healing.
Yes.
So anyway, but this is a beautiful garden, and we have a couple of umbrellas, so it's shady when it's hot and sunny, but also we can sit out here in the rain,
Yep.
and there are lights, so we can sit out here at night. So
Indeed.
it's a really nice space, and
We can probably look at some rooms, but I think you probably need to return to your
Yeah,
desk.
there's
somebody at your door.
Yeah.
So
You go on through.
Thank
We'll find you
you.
again in a
Continue
minute.
after.
Okay,
Yes, thank you.
bye.
So it would be good to look at one or two of the rooms,
Yeah.
so that people get a real feeling for
And-
what is offered in hospitality in this place.
And room-wise, I don't know if it was obvious from the outside, but there are two buildings here. The older building is in the front, in front of me, and there are 10 rooms there, and 6 of them have private bathrooms and showers. 4 of the ones upstairs do not. And then behind me is a little casita, which has 4 rooms, and they are on ground level, and there is a handicap shared bathroom for them. So we have nice facilities,
Yeah.
and it's a variety of mixed private rooms and shared rooms and shared bathrooms.
So it's under 3 months since the Casa Anglicana opened, and tonight is a full of
Tonight is
guests.
full, yep.
Every room is full, and so we'll go and look at some of them while the people are out, and we can just show people what an attractive place it is to stay.
And if the donkey door is open and someone is looking for a room, they poke their head in and say, "Do you have a room?" And Felipe says yes or no. So we love to have reservations, but also walk-ins are just as nice. So I would say, come and visit us.
Let's go upstairs and find a room.
Let's find a room.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat an olive. So here we are on the first floor. We would call it the second, but this is a typical room. They're twin beds. They're small. They're basic. Most of them have either a bathroom or a sink. Some are shared facilities. If they're shared facilities, bathroom facilities, they pay a lower price.
Lovely room looking out onto the street with the light coming in.
Yeah.
And those windows are open wide on the balcony, so you can look out onto the street and lean out and see the cathedral on the right.
Yes, you can. And if you have a room in the back, you can overlook the garden, and you can see the towers of San Francisco, I believe.
Right.
So it's
Well, it's really lovely.
Yeah,
And
it's-
the top floor gets an even bigger view.
yes, and there are single rooms, double rooms, matrimonial, which is a double bed, and there are a few,
Twin
one,
rooms.
possibly 2 triples.
Oh,
So
triples,
yes,
yes,
triples.
right,
So
okay.
single,
Lovely.
double, and
Family
triple.
rooms.
So
Okay.
yeah. So
Lovely.
it's very cozy.
That's good.
And and we do not have reliable Wi-Fi. It's a sore subject, but we have been working on it since the day we opened, and
We're working
like
towards-
Christmas, it's coming.
Yes, yes, of
It's
course.
not fast, and I was talking about this to another pilgrim who had been a hospitalier in one of the albergues on the Camino, and he said there is no Wi-Fi there, and there's a big sign that says, "We have no Wi-Fi, talk among yourselves." So the only thing I could say about that is for the first 10 years that I walked on the Camino, there was no such thing as Wi-Fi. So it might be inconvenient, but it is possible to live without it
But we're
for
working
a day.
towards
But we're
it.
working
Yes,
on
yes,
it,
indeed, yeah,
and
yeah.
when it comes, we'll let you know.
I've absolutely no doubt with your determination it will come.
It will come. Failure is not an option.
Well, thank you for this.
You're
this
welcome,
lovely
you're welcome.
tour around. And,
Thank you for
at the end of the film,
coming.
you can publish the details of contact
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that people can see
Yeah,
how
and,
to get in touch with this lovely place.
Come to our webpage.
Absolutely.
Look at us on Facebook. We are there from time to time. And we have a series always of Zooms where we catch people up with what we're up to. And again, look for that on the webpage and sign up for one of the Zooms. And then you can ask us questions in person. So Thank you, Robert,
Not at
for
all.
the tour.
No.
Thank you, Fletcher, for filming. And
Fletcher and I can both recommend it thoroughly.
And I would say one last thing, come and see for yourself what a wonderful place this is.
Indeed.
So with that, buen camino.